Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Monday, August 4th. So, first week in August. Last week was a pretty busy week. We had a ton of news coming out. We had big tech earnings. We had a bunch of tariffs announcements come out as well. So, pretty much a lot of cross currents there. And we started off August at the end of July and beginning of August with a pretty good sell-off. They knocked it down pretty freaking hard. And so far, we've been down here challenging that 6230s, the lower end of this prior distribution. That's a key area to hold if you're going to be able to make something out of it, save this day. But otherwise, if they take out that area at 6230s, we may find ourselves retracing a little bit further. So today could be so far this is very much a move out of the middle to the downside we are in, and we should be treating it as such. Now, before I keep going, news this morning, this whole week is going to be pretty light on news. Today we only have factory orders at 10. Tomorrow we get news at 8:30, 9:45, and 10, mostly PMI Composite and ISM Services. Wednesday is pretty much nothing, a 10-year auction. Thursday, jobless claims, productivity, a couple of speakers, 30-year auction. Friday's no news at all. So pretty light news week. And that would be a little bit of a relief. So we can find out how the market really feels. I think we will still have the earnings season going on, so we'll still be getting earnings come out. But I think a lot of the big techs and the big companies have reported. So I think that's the big bulk of that reaction to the market. I think it has been on the positive side. So good, decent earnings season, and I don't think that's going to derail the market necessarily. So we've got a good week ahead to get a sense if the market's going to want to correct further or if you're going to be able to hold the line here. This whole rally we had after this distribution here from the beginning of June has mostly been a pretty light volume rally, right? We talked about pretty much every day how the volume has been pretty light and have been just grinding this higher. And it's a good example of grinding it higher than the elevator down. This has 2 days and the whole thing just got reversed. Right now, in the overnight, we have a nice retracement going on. I will take that with a big grain of salt, and we'll see if that can make something out of it. But if this cut off the selling, 6230s from Friday, if that was the selling cutoff, we may have a spot to get into that stage 2 of the profile on this move out of the middle to the downside. If they do take out this lower area, the 6230s, start retracing these prints to the downside, I think we may see a change in the capital flow and maybe a little bit more time of a correction going on. Getting into that August time frame, August, September, usually seasonally weak. I've been saying that we have a lot of tailwinds still going on, so I don't think we necessarily have a reason to just have a totally weak August. We have plenty of good news out there to keep the market at least on the right side of a sell-off. So I'm going to start off a range bound. I'm going to look for early strength. Look to buy weakness at these two levels, 6290s and the 6280, 85s here for rotations back up. If they trade below that London low, I'm going to be looking for a retest of the low at that point. So pretty aggressive. This is overnight strength. I'm going to just see if that can keep going. But if they back off more than 62.85 here, the London low, start taking out that support area, I think we may have a pretty decent shot at testing at least that 62.60, 65 mode of Friday. Maybe even see a test of the lows here at 62.40s. The lower end 62.30s is still very much alive there. So this is going to be that 62.25 here. So these lower support areas, if they start getting tested, I think we got a little bit more pain ahead of us. But initially, I'm going to be looking for a little bit of early strength. If this turns into be as the big dud, this whole overnight strength turns into nothing, and they just kind of run right down here to the lows again, and we have, I think, a pretty good reason to stay on the short side. So below the 62.85, I'm going to go back range, but I'm still looking to buy against the 75s, the 62, 63, the mode of Friday. The 50s here for rotations back up, maybe even down to the 40s. But just with a bit of caution. You're back range bound. You're really looking for a retest that are very low, so you're kind of looking for them to run it that far. They don't need to they don't have to run it that far. We just have to wait and see how far they want to take it. So we watch what the market is going to do, what it's trying to do. We're still looking to buy against support areas on the way down, but and until they take out that for the 30s and 40s here, if both of them comes out, then yeah, bets are off at that point, and we are staying on the short side. So they not going to be a little more aggressive buying, weak buying support after they take out the 40s. And if you look at capital flow, if they do take out these lower areas, if you get the retest of that and it holds, great. If we get if they take it out, we got a range to retrace. The next attractor down here is going to be at 61.45. So we got a good 100 points on the downside to run down. So you want to be on the short side of that. So that's how we get started. Looking for early strength. Let's see if they can retest this high, potentially take it higher. Looking at the if they start extending to the upside, start retracing this, we have a pretty good range here on the overnight, a big overnight sell-off into Friday. That could technically be retraced fairly easily, I think. We'll see. But it's if they start retracing here past the 63.10 and 63.15s, I think we have a shot at taking this higher. So not going to be super aggressive on the shorts yet, but I mean looking for shorts against the 8 to 10s and the 15, 16s here for rotations back down. If they start taking out the 15, 16s, I'm just going to stay on the long side and see how far they can take it at that point. But initially, overnight retraced all Fridays, trading back to the starting point of Friday's day session or high of that day session. Give it a couple of levels to the upside, and then let's see if they start taking that out. Maybe we got some more strength in the market. So I'm not going to be super aggressive on the short side right from the get-go, but it's definitely looking for shorts against the 10s and the 15, 16s here for rotations back down. Then we'll see how that whole thing shakes out. So two options here. The sell-off in 2 days of selling could certainly keep going this week. It's just a matter of how far the market needs to correct, or if there's enough reasons for it to hold up. So we got our levels pretty much straightforward, and if they turns into one of those range bound days where they can't really take it higher, they can't really sell off either, just kind of slopping around. At that point, yes, going to go back range bound, and we have the edges. So at that point, we're looking for shorts against the 10s, the 15s, up to the 25s. And then we're looking just to buy against the 90s, 85s, down to the 75s. So fairly straightforward if the market turns into more of a range bound day. But I'm going to make that judgment call when we get closer to that London close. And then we'll know if the market is more likely to be trending or if they're going to just kind of churn back and forth. Biggest concern I think would be a late in the day sell-off. They start selling in the afternoon. Afternoon weakness is usually not a great sign. So that's how we get started. Looking for that early strength. See if they can take it higher. If not, if they take out a couple of lows and take out that 85, and then go back range bound, take it off that long bias and going back range bound, looking for further weakness. And not until they take out that 30, 40 area, we really have to worry about the short side. And at that point, something bigger is happening at that point. All right, NASDAQ and the bonds. The bond market, big move up here on Friday, backed off a little bit. We were looking to buy weakness in the overnight. So far, it's been working right down here to the 115s and holding. So they're trading back up again. So yields still a little bit to the downside. They're holding right above that edge, 1508. So we're in this upper area, technically in a pretty good spot to take it up here to the 17s. Now, if you see the bond market starts trading higher like this, could be a nice reduction in rates. Could be a nice thing developing right there. We'll see how far they can go. Right now, I'm going to start off on the long side. We have pretty good edge here at the 115s. If that comes out, take off the long bias, go back range bound. At that point, we are back in this lower range again. But at this point, looking to buy against support 1506 to 627, 115 to 115.02 for rotations back up. Short setups against the 2324s and the 2728s with a bit of caution. We are pointed higher. We'll see if this is the start of a move out of the middle. So far, I'm not going to say it is, but it could be. And we'll see how far they can take it. So that's how we get started on the bonds from the long side of the market. Employment situation Friday, that's where we get that big pop from. So, and finally, they're doing something about those labor numbers. I fired that statistic, the head of that department, and it's just about time, right? They shake that thing up, figure out why they can't get the freaking numbers right. Huge revisions down the last few months, massive revisions to the downside. Like nothing, you can't rely on the numbers for shit. So anyway, NASDAQ. Taking a look at the NASDAQ. Also a big move to the downside. They really ran that thing lower. Look at that. They were all the way up here to the 800s in the overnight. Looked pretty freaking good. And then after the whole joy turned into nightmare and disaster and further selling, and wow, they just took it lower. So we were down here against that 770, 800s on Friday. Key support area as well. We have one more level key area down on the Nasdaq, and that's at the 590, 600. So 7 to 800 is a nice volume edge. So far, the overnight the same as the ES, retraced pretty good. So I'm going to start off same as the ES. Looking for this strength to continue. We'll see if that happens. If you get some early weakness and looking to buy against the 40s and the 990s, 980s here, 980 to 990s. If they start taking out that support area, the London low, I'm taking off the long bias, going back, looking for further retracement, got taking off the long bias, going back range bound, but still looking to buy against the 940s, the 880s, 830s, maybe even lower, maybe even the 780s here for rotations back up. And if they start taking out that lower edge, I'm going to stay on the short side and see how far I can take it. The next level down is going to be right there at the 600s at that point. Could be a nice 200-point move to the downside. It could be easily happening. So we'll see if this early strength actually has teeth or if it's just a snapback from a couple of days of selling. So could be a little bit of early bargain hunt going on in the overnight. Who knows? Days like this could easily be reversed as well. So the volume today, actually the volume is on the ES is 230 in the micros. On the full size is 170. So the volume is a little bit to the upside. So a little bit higher volume than usual. But I'm going to watch these lower areas, the 780, the 830s and the 790, 780, 790, these two support areas. If they go below those, look for a run down to the 600s at that point. So being fairly aggressive on taking off the long bias if they start retracing. On the way up, looking for shorts against the 2380s and the 130s. A little bit of caution. We'll see how far they can take it. If you start seeing a nice rally, right, early strength, and then that start turning into weekend, that's not a good sign. So that's not a good sign at all. But we'll see. So it's at this point we're going to start off looking for that early strength, see if they can hold on to it, and then we'll just have to see how the day develops. All right, but I mean the dynamic here, to watch that London low and early on here, the 980s, if that comes out, start looking at take off the long bias, go back range bound on that one. And finally, oil and gold. So gold made a big move Friday. They're holding on in the overnight, extended a little bit. They are right up here against these upper areas. We rolled to the December contract a couple of days ago. And you can see how we gapped up and then retraced all the way. I mean, you can't see the gap now, but we gapped up, retraced the whole day. Now we're running right back up on a Friday trading after the employment situation number, and then basically up to the 3400, 3415. So now we're extending past it. If they hold above this volume edge here, if this turns into something, just stay on the long side because we may see a nice move to the upside in gold and may be ready to take another leg higher. And I think a big thing in that labor report was really the revisions. the fact that they revised like 2, maybe 3 months back, like most of the numbers, everything was wrong. So, and that happens, then there's a 3 months to get the employment situation. We're watching the trading off the headline number, and it's not worth anything. It's just garbage. So anyway, looking to buy weakness against the 34.15s, 34.05s, rotations back up. The trade below 05s, just go back range bound, we're back in that lower range again. So fairly aggressive on taking off that long bias if they trade below that London low. And if they hold above it, I would stay on the long side and see if they can retrace higher. So that's gold. Not going to be very aggressive on the short side on gold at all. First we need to see it fail before start thinking about the short side on that guy. Now oil, finally seeing some downward movement on oil, right? Be stubbornly holding on there. Everything is pointed to lower oil prices except oil. So here we go. So we oil up here, nice move up here. You see there was a couple of days we were pushing this higher, and then total collapse. So the last few days of selling, that whole thing came apart, and then all the way down here, heading down to test this lower edge again. So let us see. And then right now, I'm just going to trade it as being part of this lower range. Given the overnight, you're going to start from the short side, looking for further weakness. But watch these lower areas. If they stick out that 64 level, that low volume area, that's the one to watch. That comes out, bets are off, stay on the short side. Right now, I'm going to be looking to buy, or I'm going to look into sell strength against the 66.20s, 66.60s up to that level, 67s. So 3 levels up. Above that, I'm taking off my short bias, going back range bound. And if they keep trading lower, I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities against 65.30s, the 65s, the 64.60s, rotations back up. This would be as consistent with trading that lower edge, failure to take it out. If they do take it out, just stay on the short side after that. It could be a bit of turmoil right there at the edge before they can blow through it. But if they do take it out, I think we may have a good leg lower coming. So you want to find a spot to try to get short. But at this point, we're just going to look for early weakness, look to get short against early strength, looking for continuation of this overnight weakness to the downside, and then see if they can retest these lower edges at 64, 50, 60s here. And if those edges, as I said, we're trading the failure to take them out. That's what we're trying to get long against. But I would just give yourself a little bit of room. Take it slow, and then get a good trading set up before you get long against it. All right, so that's oil. Let's see how far they can take it on the downside. That momentum keep going. Right back to the ES, and pretty much where we left it. So there we have it. So right now I'm going to just wrap it up there. So good trading, guys, and I will see you back at 11:30 for the next update. See if we get continuation of this overnight strength on the ES and Nasdaq, or if it's just going to turn on us. All right, guys. Good trading, and I'll see you back at 11:30. Later.